Thought I would just kind of show you what to expect if you order from LCSC. I've been ordering from them for a couple years now, and I think they're great. And there's pros and cons, obviously. There's reasons you might want to order from DigiKey or Jameco or something like that. But generally speaking, LCSC, it's really cheap. They offer a lot of Asian brands for components there that are pretty cheap, but you can also get a lot of the name brand stuff there too. So, uh, but the packaging, this is kind of what it looks like. I mean, usually, I mean, I hate to insult anyone's intelligence, but I mean, it comes in a box. This is a pretty big order, so usually it does come in a smaller box. There's not usually too much empty space in there, but I have had a couple where there was quite a bit of extra space. But the packaging is generally pretty darn good. So here you get your big you get a list of everything, an invoice, if you will. And then usually there's just a little bit of bubble wrap. Usually it's not too much, thankfully. And then it's actually kind of like a bubble wrap bag, I guess. So get the box out of the way here. And yeah, you can see this is, I mean, it's a pretty big order. But you'll see some components will come in these in bags like this. Let's see what this is. I do not know what these are. Possibly crystals. So it's kind of like a foil vacuum packed bag, but most of the components are going to come in these little anti-static bags with a zip top. And then one of the things that I really like, I mean, this isn't something special that LCSC does. All the Mouser, they all do this, but you're going to have your LCSC part number on there. I've never used the QR code. I guess I should try that. Maybe it'll take you to this component on the website. That would be kind of cool. And you've got usually it'll tell you enough information on the package where you can tell what it is without having to put in the part number. I would say 95, really 97% of cases that's true. So here you can see these are resistors. You can see they're 82K, and 100 milliwatt. And then does it tell you yeah, and it does, okay, 0603. So everything pretty much that you need to know is on there without having to look up the part number, so that's cool. I have had a few cases where the description here just didn't really, it might, for example, say that it was a capacitor, but I couldn't tell what the value was. But again, that's pretty rare. So here's another type of packaging that they have. It's similar to this. It's a foil pouch, but it's not vacuum packed. I don't see this type of packaging very often. So these are NAND gates. But again, most of the packaging is it's going to be like these. Like I said, just anti-static pieces of cut reel if you're getting surface mount, which is most of what I order. So there's a pretty good piece of a reel there. Never had any issues with me getting like less than what I thought I should get. It's always pretty much on par with, it's always what I think I should be getting. I don't feel like they're jipping me on the number of components. Here's what your through hole stuff will look like, and typically in a bag just like this, and then you'll have the through hole reel, and it'll be cut. So they're good quality components. I mean, I don't have any gripes about it. It's way better than getting on eBay and ordering stuff. I think the temptation for some people that are new at this is to get on eBay or Amazon. There's some IC, or what is this? Inductors. There's a tendency for people to kind of get on Amazon or eBay and buy some components because they seem like they might be cheaper or it's faster shipping, but they're not really cheaper and they're pretty much just garbage. I'm not going to say that I've never bought them from there or that I would never buy them in the future, but I would say for the absolute most part, I would not buy any of that stuff from Amazon or eBay. It's all junk. It doesn't come with the data sheet. And it's not even that cheap. That's the really terrible thing is when you compare the prices of these components to what you would get if you bought stuff on eBay or Amazon. I mean, this is actually cheaper, and it comes with a data sheet, so you know what you're getting. Even if you order some of the cheaper Asian brands, what I would call like a third tier brand, even those you're going to get a data sheet. Here's some 10 microfarad 16 volt tantalums. I don't normally buy tantalums. Normally it's ceramic NCOs, but the project that I'm working on the schematic calls for some tantalums, so I ordered a bunch of those. More through hole stuff. I'm not really that big into through hole, but the project I'm working on has a lot of through hole stuff. And I didn't design the board, so just kind of have to roll with it. Here's another example of how you'll see some of those on the cardboard deal. I see capacitors like that a lot. Electrolytics or ceramics. Transistors I see like that too, actually. More this type of packaging. You can just kind of tear it open. I don't know if it has a tear spot, but what are these? Diodes. So the last order, or this order actually, and you can see there's just so much. I mean, there's just so much stuff here. So it was a really big order. I don't even remember what this stuff. I mean, it was less than $100, but there is a ton of stuff here, just a ton of it. I had a problem, and that was the first time I've had a problem with them. And what happened was I placed the order, and then sometime, I think because the time difference is so big between here and China, I don't know what the difference is, but it's a lot. Obviously, it's probably like 12 hours. So it was kind of in the middle of the night, which doesn't bother me. I mean, I don't have notifications set up for my personal email, but they sent me an email that was it was a human, and I didn't. This is my fault. I didn't check my email for several days, and I finally I checked it because I mean, when I order from them, I know it's going to take a couple weeks or more, so I'm not too impatient. But I checked my email. Someone from LCSC had emailed me and said, "Hey, you ordered, I don't know what the component was. You ordered 50,
but we only have 47. Is this acceptable? And then there was one or two other emails, and it was the same thing. One of them said, you ordered, I think it was 10, and we only have 8. And another one was same thing. I think it was you ordered 100 and we have 93 or something. So evidently there was kind of a difference between what they had available at the time I placed the order and then what they had available when they went to fill the order. And I don't care that I'm missing a few. I mean, whatever I ordered 50 of and I got 47. Well, that's probably 40 more than what I need right now. So I didn't care. The English was a little bit, and I'm not upset about this, but I mean, there are people in China, and the English was definitely, it wasn't super great, the punctuation and stuff. Again, not a big deal for me. And all I did was I just replied and I said, yes, this is acceptable. And then I got a reply back. It wasn't, I think the reply didn't come again until the middle of the night. And they said, okay, I don't remember exactly how they worded it, but they said, we'll get everything packaged and shipped out. And they did, and there wasn't any more problems. But I've ordered from them, like a dozen times, and that's the only time that's ever happened. And this, again, being probably the biggest order I've ever had from them. So I think that's kind of nice, and that's one reason I decided to actually make this video, is really just to say, hey, I did have a problem, and they took care of it pretty easily. Not a big deal. I haven't never had any problems with them sending me the wrong items or less than what I ordered or missing items. Luckily, I have not had that issue with them, so I can't report on what it would be like to have to contact them and try to get a refund or something. I think that would be a huge pain. And for me personally, as long as it wasn't much money, if it maybe, let's just say I ordered a big shipment and I was missing like $1 worth of resistors or something, I hate to say it, but I'd probably just let it go, because I don't think it would be worth the effort to contact their customer service to get it taken care of. Now, they probably would take care of it. I think they would. It's just there's the language barrier, and then the time zone difference, and then you're dealing with international shipping, and it just, I don't see, unless it was a really big mistake, I personally wouldn't. I don't think I would fight that battle. But yeah, I love ordering from them. I really had nothing but positive stuff to say. The website's pretty good, and searching for things is usually not too difficult. Sometimes I have trouble. But this is not just LCS. This is with all of them. You get the same problem with Mouser or DigiKey or any of them. Even back in the day when I would order from like Radio Shack, there's just so much stuff, and sometimes it's hard to kind of filter down and find what you want. And I have found certain things that LCSC just doesn't stock too well, that you can go to the other suppliers and find pretty easy. And I don't know if that's just, I know there's been some shortages since COVID. I don't know how much of that has been, how I think it's better now. I assume it is. But for example, in this order, I was trying to find some, I think it was some larger value ceramic NCOs, and they just didn't have them in stock. They just were out. And so I think I ended up getting some tantalums instead. Or maybe I ended up getting them from a different, I might have ordered them from Mouser. I can't remember how I ended up solving that problem, but again, there's certain things that you would think they would have more of, or that they don't. Toroids are another one I've had issues with. LCSC, just they don't have a lot of toroids, and the ones that they do have, it's pretty hard to sort through and find what I want. So it ends up being kind of easier just to not get them from there. So I just order as much stuff as I can from them, and then everything else I kind of put to the side, and I'll wait till I have enough to warrant a big order from Mouser or DigiKey or something. But the shipping it's fairly cheap. I mean, especially for the big box. I don't know what the shipping was in this case. It might have been $20. It was, I mean, it's a pretty big box coming from China. So the shipping from places like Mouser is actually not that bad. And it's fast too. Um, but the prices of the components tend to be a little bit more expensive. So that's one reason why I started doing LCSC. And plus, I use JLC PCB. They're obviously affiliated with each other, and so that kind of makes things a little bit easier. And if you wanted to have a board pre-assembled, then yeah, this is a really nice way to go, because if you get your if you, let's say you made a prototype or something, you get your components from LCSC, well, you know they're gonna. I assume you would think that you would know they would have them in stock. I'm assuming it's the same warehouse. I guess I don't actually know the answer to that for sure, but yeah, I've been impressed so far, and I'm gonna definitely keep ordering from them. And I think if you're hesitant, there's really nothing to worry about. I've had nothing but a good experience with them. And again, you're gonna wait over 2 weeks. I don't think I've ever had it show up any faster than that. Maybe like right at 2 weeks sometimes, but the way I order is I'll kind of, as I'm looking out into the future, some of the projects that I want to do, what I do is I kind of get a whole bunch of stuff together, and I kind of think about, okay, what are some projects that I want to do over the next 3 to 6 months or something. That way I can order a whole bunch at one time, because it saves you a ton of money when you order a big order like this. You really want to avoid doing smaller orders, because you're going to pay so much in shipping, which inevitably makes the cost of the components a lot more. So anything that you would save by ordering just a couple, for example, if you just needed a handful of resistors or something, well, it probably doesn't make sense to order them from there. You might be better off to go to a U.S. supplier and get them, because you'd get them faster and you'd probably pay less shipping. So I would say bigger orders, definitely worth it. But if you're just only ordering a handful of things, then it might not save you that much money. So that's my take on LCSC, and I hope y'all enjoyed this.